A Princeton graduate is causing quite a stir on and off campus. She says young women attending the university should start looking for a husband while they're in college, get their MRS, and that a husband should be a Princeton man. Well, that controversy began with a letter to co-eds.
Advice for the young women of Princeton, the daughters I never had.
When Princeton graduate Susan Patton wrote an op-ed for the student newspaper, she says her intention was to give female students advice on living a balanced life.
For most of you, the cornerstone of your future and happiness will be inextricably linked to the man you marry, and you will never again have this concentration of men who are worthy of you.
That's my girl. A mother of two Princeton sons, Patton suggests Princeton women waste no time finding a husband. The recommendations don't stop there. Patton advises women to only marry fellow Princetonians to avoid disappointment later in life.
But ultimately, it will frustrate you to be with a man who just isn't as smart as you.
Patton graduated from Princeton in 1977, placing her among the first classes of women ever admitted to the prestigious university. She wrote the letter after meeting a group of female students at a women's leadership conference.
I asked all of them, do any of you think that you want to be married and have children? And every one of them raised their hands. And I said to them, well, let me tell you what nobody is telling you. Find yourself a husband here before you graduate.
But Patton's motherly words of wisdom aren't shared by the entire Princeton community. Jill Dolan, director of the university's Gender and Sexuality Studies program, wrote, her rhetoric encourages current Princeton students toward a version of higher education that was popular in the 1950s. On Twitter, the backlash continued, with some users calling her views elitist, sexist, and amounting to intellectual snobbery. Patton, who was recently divorced, remains undeterred. She says her advice isn't meant for everyone.
This is what the women's movement has afforded us. It's empowered us to the point that we can make whatever choices we want. You don't want to take my advice? Don't.